How much can a trip cost? 10 days all-inclusive to Tokyo? 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And above all, is that a lot or is it a little? But beyond that, is it better to organize it yourself or rely on sites that organize group trips like WeRoad, etc., etc.? Well, guys, it's been about a year since my trip to Japan. By the way, the trip that was documented can be found on the channel in the Tokyo playlist. And I want to specify that I spent 10 days there and I spent them all in Tokyo. And I assure you that 10 days in Tokyo might even be too few to see the entirety and vastness of the things there are. I saw most of it. I saw the ones that interested me the most, and I was there for 10 days, but including flights. So theoretically, it's about 9 days. I was alone and I stayed in an Airbnb because, yes, I organized the trip myself. By the way, on this, you can easily find videos on the channel, this one here, where I organize it during that video and I explain what I chose, what I did. So there's something to say. Tokyo is one of the largest cities in the world, certainly one of the most populous. I mean, the people really live one on top of the other in huge skyscrapers. And when you look at the city from above, it's an expanse of enormous and gray skyscrapers. It's cool because it's on a bay, on a port, there's the river, etc. Beautiful, okay? It has its spaces. Green, but it's really gigantic. And it's located on the other side of the world compared to Italy. And especially they don't speak. English is not spoken, or at least it's difficult. Few speak English, although you can manage a little. I managed to talk even with some elderly people who got by quite well, probably better than my Japanese, which is equivalent to 0. But at this point, we need to understand if it's more worthwhile to organize a trip ourselves or rely on a company that offers group trips like WeRoad. I was very undecided. The trips I could afford were 5 to 7 days and didn't include just Tokyo, but a tour of all of Japan. And if you do your research properly, Japan, guys, is much larger than Italy. So in 7 days, what do you want to see? I would have only seen the main attractions, the most touristy things, and not much more. So I decided to take a trip, which was my dream trip, mainly to Tokyo. And I opted with the same money as WeRoad to take a trip on my own, to get an Airbnb, and especially to enjoy Tokyo for 10 days, also because being a cook as well. But that's not it. The thing is, I'm a big eater. I mean, look at this belly. I mainly went also for the food and the real sushi and all those culinary things I was interested in trying. And I must say that I was not disappointed at all. It's a wonderful country. Tokyo is a beautiful city, both from the modern side and the historical side. So if you have the chance, go see it. There are various sites that offer group travel, such as WeRoad, Blue Travel, etc., etc. I don't remember them now. Guys, I'm not sponsored, and they cost around 3,000 euros, 2,000 to 3,000, depending on the period and what you want to see. However, be careful because the trip is not included. The round-trip flight is not included. From what I understand, they meet you at the airport and you depart together with a guide. But in Japan, everything is included except for a few things outside. But those are also because they allow you to be a bit free-spirited. So you can choose what you want to do in certain parts at certain times of the day. It's not a fixed guided tour, but you also have a bit of freedom, which is a very nice thing. So if you are not alone, you don't have anyone to go with, and you prefer to go with someone, then at this point you can safely close that video because the answer is better. A group trip, if instead you are a bit more adventurous, you are not afraid, and you can manage with a translator at this point, in my opinion, it's better to organize the trip your own way. Also because this way you can go travel and visit according to your own pace, which often varies greatly from person to person. And that's what I did. And today I will explain a little bit about the costs I incurred. But can you already guess something from this video about Japan, where I organized the trip and how much I spent in total to stay 10 days in Tokyo? 10 days in which, guys, I have to tell you that I didn't miss out on almost anything. Yes, okay, I didn't always go to luxury restaurants, but I did go to a couple. By the way, in this whole story, you can easily find the videos on the channel in the Lost in Tokyo playlist, which you can find on my channel. And there you can find all the videos because I documented as much as possible. I also took it a bit as a job and I tried to make more interesting videos for you. Possible. So let's compare for a moment. Let's open a small parenthesis about last year in 2024, which is the year I'm recording this, but this video will probably be released from January onwards. China had allowed travel and crossing through China itself, so you could stay for up to 2-3 weeks or 15 days, if I'm not mistaken, in China without needing visas. So it's a godsend for those who need to cross China to go to Japan, which is right after if you are coming from Europe. This has helped to lower the prices of flights to Japan round trip by flying directly with Chinese airlines, which is what I did. And despite being a bit nervous because 2 earthquakes had just occurred in Japan, I went in February 2024, if I'm not mistaken, around mid-February or maybe the beginning of February. It was the right choice, and this allowed me to save quite a bit on the flight. So for the flight, I paid 540 euros round trip in a normal economy class. The only thing is that I chose the seats paying an extra 30 euros. In total, about 570, 580 euros. Just for the round trip, including a suitcase of 10 kilo or maybe 15. Plus the backpack you can carry in the cabin, small, etc., etc. Obviously, the suitcase, guys, I brought it empty because I already knew I would return with many souvenirs, many plush toys, etc., etc. And I did well because in the end, I almost ran out of space. I booked an Airbnb and I didn't choose one too far from the center, if I'm not mistaken, just about 10 or 15 minutes by metro. And there, the metro, guys, runs every 2 or 3 minutes. So getting a place right in the center and spending a fortune doesn't make sense. With the metro, you can get everywhere. There are 15 different colors, 15 metro lines going in different directions. The city is very well connected. There are also buses, there are taxis, and you can rent bikes. The city is really super well connected. You can't get lost. It's very difficult because it's foolproof with the color coding. Okay, and beyond that, guys, there's Google Translate. And so the best thing, in my opinion, is to choose a slightly quieter area so that you can also rest peacefully at night, because I assure you that after all the walking, you will be exhausted. At least I was, but oh well, I was making videos about it and was out for more than 12 hours every day, except for a few times when I was completely dead, where I would arrive and collapse in my room. And obviously, getting around Tokyo by public transport has a cost. In this case, for 10 days, I paid about 800 euros with the Suica or other similar cards, which are the rechargeable cards that you use. And there are really few that you pass through to enter the metro. So if you have a slightly more modern phone, as most people do, now you can simply download your Suica, for example, into the iPhone wallet and use your iPhone to pass through and pay directly, recharging it from your card or bank account, as I did. So in total, for 10 days of transportation, and I moved around simply and almost exclusively by metro, I paid about 80 to 100 euros. Then, since I arrived at one airport and departed from another, which is the farther one, I also had to pay 30 euros for a 1-hour train ride that literally connected central Tokyo with Haneda Airport, if I'm not mistaken. I was just telling you about the Airbnb accommodation. I paid 666 euros for the Airbnb accommodation, exactly 666. But I have to say, it was a great price. We're talking about 10 days. It was a tiny place. It was, maybe this room is a bit bigger. Maybe the accommodation was a bit bigger with the classic Japanese toilet, etc., etc. Super strange. My toilet had a built-in sink. I mean, I don't know if you realize. There's also a video about it. The video, this one needs to be retrieved because it really shocked me. Honestly, though I have to say, it's cool to be able to go back and forth. Whenever you want, it's fine. The hotel is always open. Maybe if you've been served, pampered, half breakfast. I prefer to do things my own way. Also because I remind you that there are family markets, the 7-Elevens that are open 24 hours a day. So if you need to eat and don't need room service, you go down, choose from a ton of super colorful, super chemical snacks, probably like I did, and have a big midnight snack. Now let's talk about another fundamental thing. This video is not sponsored, but I want to mention it because it was very useful, which is Holyfly. Holyfly is an eSIM service. There are others as well. I chose this one because of the number of positive reviews online, and it's a service that practically allows you to have your own eSIM and activate it right before you leave for your 16-hour trip. Yes, because it's 16 hours there, 16 hours. Return with a layover in China and find yourself in Japan. Already having internet, which, trust me, is a great thing because there you need to translate everything. And I don't know Japanese. I know a few words, the usual swear words, but beyond that, it's hard to get around. Yes, there are colors, but you need a little bit of help, some assistance. And who better than Google Maps to help you in a foreign country where you don't speak the language? Well, I would say absolutely no one. So the internet is essential. And I spent 47 euro for 10 days of internet with Holyfly. Actually, it's the 15-day subscription, but the other one was for 7 days. So I was afraid it wouldn't be enough. 5G, super fast. The connection was amazing. Nothing to complain about. 37 euro for 10 days. It's not so bad, about 5 euro a day to have a connection so you don't get lost. For Tokyo, a city that is enormous, it's a great expense. I recommend it, really. It's important because there isn't Wi-Fi everywhere there. There is no public Wi-Fi. And if there is, be careful, pay attention, because it could also be dangerous. So get your own internet. Otherwise, you'll have to get a SIM card there on the spot. But try explaining to the Japanese person in turn in English, in an English that really has nothing to do with the original English, that you need this for these days. In short, too complicated, guys. And SIM, it's the best thing. Then if you don't want Olifly, choose whatever you like. This worked well for me. I felt great. And if I were to take more trips abroad, probably I will use it again to create a temporary SIM for the trip and then uninstall it simply beyond that. In these days in Japan, guys, I didn't miss out on anything. I made videos about snacks. I bought snacks to bring to Italy. I ate out. I had the best sushi I could. Yes, not at the Michelin-starred, superstarred level, guys, because I still had a budget to try to stick to. Somehow, though, really high-quality sushi. Stuff that here in Italy is considered Michelin starred. There it's considered a bit above average. Then there are spectacular places where they make sushi, where the squid is still moving, and so on and so forth. I preferred not to go there also because you often have to make a reservation. There's no availability. You have to do it in advance. In short, a bit too complicated. I ate at good places. There are videos on the channel. Probably while I'm talking, I'm also showing you some clips of sushi. I ate at average lower-end sushi places with conveyor belts, etc. Usually, guys, if there are conveyor belts, it's not high-quality sushi. The good sushi, they bring it to you, they plate it for you, or there's a conveyor belt with the chef in the middle to whom you can ask questions and they explain things to you, the prices, etc., etc. And I must say that it's truly an experience to have at least once in a lifetime because it was delicious. One of these, by the way, I did in an area a bit for the wealthy, in a skyscraper with a view, well, spectacular, truly spectacular. I ate snacks, I ate out, I always ate food outside. In short, in total, I spent about, let's say 450, but around 400 euros for 10 days. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, drinks, snacks, all outside. And I guarantee you that everything I could try, I tried. I also made various videos on the channel where I try snacks in Japan, and I also made some videos, where do I bring the snacks? With my friends, you can find everything on my channel. Take a look because it's really interesting. In these days, I didn't miss out on anything. I did all the free attractions possible, and I also did some paid ones. For example, the Skytree and Tokyo Tower. Skytree and Tokyo Tower are the main attractions of Tokyo. One is a gigantic antenna, which is the Skytree, which means tree in the sky. I don't know why, since it has absolutely nothing to do with a tree. It's spectacular to see because it allows you to go up to 500 meters, so almost half a kilometer, or 400 meters anyway, above sea level. And you see things at a level that's beautiful to experience. And then there's Tokyo Tower, which is a bit shorter, but still taller than the Eiffel Tower, which it is inspired by. A lot. It's painted red and it's beautiful. At night, Skytree and Tokyo Tower cost me Skytree 14 euro for the entrance to the first floor. And if you want to go up to 450 meters, it costs you another 10 euro. Be careful, book online for safety. It's always better because if it's full, it's full. Tokyo Tower cost me 12 euro. And I spent an additional 20 euros on gadgets, which I guarantee you will spend because on the way down, you'll find them in a shop with really cool stuff, gadgets, etc. At least 20 euros will definitely go. Then during the vacation, I bought about 200 euros worth of gadgets, which I later gave to my friends and brought home. Mainly, I tried not to buy expensive things, but symbolic items, especially with the vending machines, which are those machines where you put in a coin, turn it, and a little toy comes out. I can't believe it. I have a chubby cat. I got the cat chubby. Guys, all the strange things I brought to my friends, and they appreciated them, I must say, honestly, quite a lot. And I managed with just 200 euros. And unfortunately, I, being a lover, in many quotes, of watches, especially Japanese ones. Now I'm also looking a bit at Swiss ones, but I prefer Japanese ones, especially Seiko movements. And I also adore watches. Casio. I did a bit of shopping in watch stores with videos you can find on the channel. I also visited the Seiko Museum. I spent around 300 euros on watches that I brought with me. By the way, I also made a video about it. Here it is. In this case, I spent them on watches, and you can spend, or rather, you will definitely spend them on manga, anime, action figures, and other cool stuff that can only be found in Japan. Moreover, there's also a lot of technology, guys. As I said, I didn't miss out on anything. I wanted to experience Japan. I wanted to experience Tokyo 100%. And I also had some experiences, let's say a bit risque, because there it's half legal, half not. Well, it's legal in the end. There are these bars that allow you to go there, sit down, have a coffee, have a tea, and in the meantime, let's say a rather attractive Japanese woman comes over and provides you with some services, let's say. It wasn't something necessary, but at least once in a lifetime, guys. I'm still a bit of a naughty man. Whatever you want, it's up to you. By the way, I also made a video about it on the channel, which is this one here. And this tea service, let's say, with an extra service, costs around 25 euros. I did it twice, yes, because once was a bit too little. Let's say, well, I don't fly to the other side of the world every day, so it's something I wanted to do and I did it. Am I ashamed of it? No. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. It was very cool. It was also very, very strange. Check out the video on the channel because it was really very strange, especially the first time. And beyond that, I did something really awesome. Guys, which is the Daikoku. For those who don't know what the Daikoku is a parking lot in the middle of a huge circle of highways that is practically on Tokyo Bay. And you can only access it with a car. So without one, it's impossible. There's only this parking lot and there's a gas station, if I'm not mistaken, and that's it. And there's this giant loop around this ring of highways that passes by. It's needless to say that the worst gatherings, the tunings happen there. There are 2 or 3 places in Japan that do this, but that was the closest one and the one I could visit. I found on various online sites people who take you there, obviously for a fee. And I decided to pay for a service that I'm not sure is completely legal, but by now it's too late. I did it. By the way, I also made a video about it. It's this one here, beautiful, go check it out. For 160 euros, it allowed you to go to Daikoku and take a night tour of the city by minibus. And above all, it lets you take a ride in a beautiful Nissan GTR, which you can find on the channel. It's spectacular, go check it out. That guy is completely out of his mind. We went at speeds with people who were absolutely within the speed limits. We didn't do anything reckless. We respected everything. I'm just sorry that I saw it on a Thursday as I was leaving on Friday because the best cars come on the weekend. Unfortunately, I could only go on Thursday. I made a video. It turned out well. There were many cars, but surely on the weekend it would have been more extraordinary. So remember, go on the weekend. The total I spent is approximate because I surely forgot something, but it's 2,600 euros. 2,600 euros to stay 10 days in Tokyo with gadgets, all-inclusive, food, etc., etc. And in my opinion, it's very reasonable because it was 10 days where I literally treated myself like a king. I did everything. I tried everything. I did the... And maybe I actually spent a little more. But let's say that more than 3,000 is difficult. For the same cost, in my opinion, it's better to organize the trip on your own terms because you can go at your own pace. 10 days were perhaps almost too little to see just Tokyo, let alone to see all the main attractions of Japan. Require at least 2 trips, in my opinion. And I hope to be able to make another one in a few years because this year, absolutely not. This year, other things will be coming to the channel. I am confident that I will take another trip, also because I want to see the entire part. A bit of southern Japan with seas, ocean, beautiful suns, and so on. And I really can't wait. I'm a bit disappointed that the Lost in Tokyo playlist got few views on the channel, and I really put a lot of work into it, but you still have time to catch up on it. I'll leave the link in the description. That said, 2,600, 3,000 euros for a trip to Japan, mainly in Tokyo for 10 days. Is that a lot or a little, according to you? Considering that I really did everything, write it down here in the comments. I can't wait to discuss this topic. And in my opinion, if I had done it differently, I would have paid much, much more. But tell me your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time.